talking about change for the middle class, and I'm all for that.
In the 2008 election, Barack Obama campaigned toward the center and won 60% of the moderate vote.
I think he's the kind that will do exactly what he says he's going to do.
Then he governed from the left.
Ask yourself, do I look like a radical socialist?
Joe Biden ran his 2020 presidential election campaign toward the center, explicitly away from Bernie Sanders' progressive politics. He then governed further left than Barack Obama.
They're just not willing to go as far as I think we have to go.
And despite Kamala Harris's sudden slide to the right election strategy, she too will abandon the moderate center.
My presidency will not be a continuation of Joe Biden's presidency.
So on to the U.S. Senate races, where multiple Democrats are running the same centrist bait and switch. In fact, some of the Democratic candidates have gone almost MAGA, releasing ads highlighting their work with the former president. That includes Bob Casey in Pennsylvania, who's facing a threat from Republican businessman Dave McCormick.
Casey bucked Biden to protect fracking, and he sided with Trump to end NAFTA and put tariffs on China to stop them from cheating.
And Tammy Baldwin in Wisconsin, who's virtually tied in a race against Eric Hovda.
Tammy Baldwin got President Trump to sign her Made in America bill.
And then she got President Biden to make it permanent.
Three other tight races focusing Democratic candidates' minds on the right include Montana incumbent Jon Tester, who's trailing former Navy SEAL Tim Sheehy, and Elissa Slotkin in Michigan, who's running against the GOP's Mike Rogers.
And that's why I wrote a law signed by President Trump forcing drug companies to show their actual prices.
And then there's Senator Sherrod Brown in Ohio, a man of the left 99% of the time, who's contending with former auto dealer Bernie Moreno.
I've spent my career focused on standing up for workers, working with law enforcement to crack down on fentanyl, and with presidents of both parties to do what's best for our state.
Anyone harboring hopes that these center-adopting campaigns suggest a return to party moderation needs a reality check. In recent times, the two most visible moderates among Senate Democrats were Joe Manchin of West Virginia and Arizona's Kyrsten Sinema.
I believe in my approach, but it's not what America wants right now.
Because both supported fiscal restraint and opposed eliminating the Senate filibuster, they became pariahs in their own party.
Off fossil fuels, Manchin, off fossil fuels!
Sometimes hounded by left-wing activists.
Fossil fuels! Let's go ahead, off fossil fuels, Manchin, off fossil fuels!
Nothing new here, really. The Democrats' center of gravity in the Senate has shifted decisively in the direction of progressives.
I will leave the Senate at the end of this year.
Policy goals are set now by senators such as Elizabeth Warren, Sheldon Whitehouse, Bernie Sanders, Jeff Merkley, Kirsten Gillibrand, Raphael Warnock, and Dick Durbin. And with Kyrsten Sinema and Joe Manchin out, Chuck Schumer is that much closer to getting rid of the filibuster.
Okay.
The only measure preventing the passage of all legislation with a simple majority of 51 votes.
You tried to do it with the John Lewis bill. Sinema and Manchin blocked. Both of those folks are going to be gone. If you have a majority, you can probably do it.
As for the whole issue of the filibuster, we're going to have to sit down as a caucus and decide how and where and when to do it. But I think there's a broad consensus on the voting rights.
If any of the Democratic candidates now presenting themselves to their state's voters as Trump-leaning centrist were to join a Schumer-led majority, there is no chance, zero, they would vote against ending the filibuster.
Okay, good morning, everybody.
The post-filibuster legislative game plan has been in the works for years.
You want to honor John? Let's honor him by revitalizing the law that he was willing to die for.
Delivering John Lewis's eulogy 4 years ago, Barack Obama made the case for rebalancing the scales with two new states.
By guaranteeing that every American citizen has equal representation in our government, including the American citizens who live in Washington, D.C. and in Puerto Rico. They're Americans.
Adding 4 virtually permanent Democratic Senate seats with the wave of a filibuster-free wand would guarantee party control over the future of the U.S. judiciary at every level, debt-be-damned federal spending, Medicare for all, and lowering the voting age to 16. All these matters will be decided on November 5th.